All right. So back to what I was talking about. Now you discover that if God is going to change your season or change the status of your life, He will give you instructions, very difficult instructions. And most times those instructions may not make sense to you, but it's not your place to request understanding from God. It is your place to obey. It is your place to obey. God doesn't owe you an explanation for the instruction He has given to you that is supposed to change your life. Most times people tend to want to obey God when God gives them an understanding. Like, okay, Lord, you're asking me to leave my father's house. Why? You must give me a reason why I should do what you're asking me to do. It doesn't work like that with God. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. It's something that you have to choose to obey God from the place of love. Now, you must understand something, that God works best in uncertainties, especially when He knows that He can shield you or blind you from the possibilities that lay ahead of you at the end of obedience, but yet find you trusting Him enough, not requesting explanation, but following Him down till the end. Now, imagine when God told Abraham, go and kill your son, your only son, the one I just gave you. That is after many years of keeping you barren. I deliberately kept Sarah barren for this reason. Now, your only son, I will need you to go to Mount Moriah, go kill him for me. And then here, just imagine for a second that Abraham went to tell Sarah. At that point, I'm sure that even Sarah, having experienced the miracles of God, would have told Abraham, now I know you are a madman. Now I know you are crazy, like you've been hearing voices. Like I know I've said this thing before, that you are behaving strange recently, because she will begin to put pieces together, even things that don't make any simple sense. And that's why most times when God gives you instructions, it's not best everybody hears about it. You just obey. You just obey what God is telling you to do. But be very, very sure you heard the voice of God. And if at all you must tell somebody, that it should be somebody that is higher than you, or somebody who is in covenant, like a covenant prayer partner, or somebody that you trust, just to, maybe you want a confirmation of what you've received, not explanation. You need a confirmation to be sure it is the Lord you heard, just in case you are not sure of whom has spoken to you, or who has spoken to you rather. That's what you need. Amen. And then number 4, how does God change your season? Number 4, God sends you a man. So number 1, how does God change your season? Number 1, I said what? A press in your spirit to give. Number 2, prayer. Number 3, instructions. Number 4, God sends you a man. That man might not be the person that will end the poverty or end the house search or end your marital crisis, but he might be the man with the word or with the understanding you need. Do you know that you can be praying for breakthrough and God will send you a man that has a system? That has a system, a working system that is meant to house all of your desires and grant your wishes. Now, wishes in this case is not just about anything you think of and then I wish for this. No. In conformity with the mind and purpose of God for you, which is for you to prosper. But then the man may not even come with, like, okay, get this number, call that number, call that number. It may just be that the man, if you partner with him, whether in his business, in his empire, whatever, that is where your breakthrough lies. I give an example. You know the uncle of Jacob called Laban, that is the other brother to the mother, Rebecca. He was a businessman. He operated, should I say zoology? Yeah, he had lots of animals. But he never did well until Jacob showed up. How do I know that? Bible says in the book of Genesis chapter 30, verse 27. Genesis 30, verse 27, Bible says, Laban told Jacob, tarry with me, stay with me, for I have learned by experience that the Lord has blessed me for your sake. The Lord has blessed me for your sake. When I talk about the gift of a man, that God will send you a man, most times people think of a man carrying a bag of money and maybe sending them miracle alert or something. Most times it is the wisdom that you need, that you have been lacking over time, that you need to break into a decision that man will bring to you. Probably like a teaching like this. A friend can come and offer you a CD, offer you something, a tape, a video that you need to watch, that you need to listen to, that will now change your paradigm of thinking, which now strategically positions you for the next thing God already planned from time immemorial to happen in your life. That's what I talk about Kairos moment, when preparation meets opportunity. So now, God is trying to lift you from the place of preparation to put you in the place of opportunity where you are made a king and made ready for the very thing you've been praying for. It's not enough to be prepared, but prepared correctly, with the right mindset, with the right energy, with all of that. And then when God now strategically now puts you somewhere where you understand the etiquettes of kingship, you understand the etiquettes of palace, you understand the etiquettes of how like it now, building systems and structures and working within the interconnected dynamics of a system. You understand all of that. You are being transformed mentally. You have mental capacity to process with quick understanding the workings of things. When God finds a man prepared like that, then he drops you right where opportunity can find you. Do you know that? Let me share an example of what I'm trying to say. Now, do you know that my perception of life, my perception of people, my perception of opportunities switched the moment I started building on this vision of Iron Mint? How I viewed opportunities, how I viewed people, how I viewed or how I looked at fashion, everything changed. Because now my thinking has left the place of somebody seeking for help into becoming someone who will become a help to people. Are you getting my point right now? Now I'm not just going to be an employee, I'm going to be employing people. There is a way I should think, there is a way I should dress, there is a way I should treat people, there is a way I should not. So you see, all of that mindset has to change. Imagine you're trusting God for a job, you want to become an employer of labor, but yet you don't have a good manner of approach, you don't know how to treat people right. You are late on reports, you don't know how to write reports, you don't know how to read reports, you don't know how to care for people, you don't have the basic human intelligence to be nice to people, you are not courteous, you are loud, you are narcissistic, you are nepotic, you are whatever it is in the political jargon that defines a corrupt leader. God can never commit anything of value to such a person until your mentality aligns with who God had in mind when he prepared that plan. You never arrive at that point of breakthrough, because regardless of how you pray, God had a picture of the version of you that should inherit that thing he has prepared for you. Yes, 2 Peter 1 verse 3, according as his divine nature has given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness, through the knowledge of him who has called us to glory and virtue. Virtue, that talks about character. So it means that whatever God has promised you is designated for a particular character feature in your life. So it means that it may be possible that all what you are praying for is already available, but not for this current version of you. There is the way you talk, there is the way you act towards people, there's the way you treat jobs, there's the way you treat assignments, there's the way you treat even yourself that is not correct. And God is saying, until this changes, I don't bring a change. I don't. When Bible says that God says, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated, God never hated the person of Esau. God only hated his character. Why? He sold his birthright for porridge. And so God said, even though what Jacob did was wrong, like, magomago, like we call it in Nigeria, magomago or 419, it was criminal what he did. But God is saying, I rather permit that happens and let the battle fall onto Jacob, because it's a good steward. Remember the story of Jesus, the shrewd manager, who knowing fully whether he's about to be unemployed and sacked by his boss, Rather went to everybody who owes his boss and then began to reduce their figures. What does he do? He was changing figures of paper. Meaning, if you're owing my boss 100 barrels of oil, write 50 on paper. That's what my boss will read. But the remaining 50, you pass it on to me. In other words, even if I'm thrown on the street, I can't go broke. And Jesus Christ, in the story, using, how will I put it now? Metaphorically speaking through the master now, says, can you see how smart the shrewd manager is? He was already preparing a way to manage and to steward resources, even if he's thrown on the streets. He said the children of this world are wiser than the children of light. Does that mean Jesus is promoting being shrewd or shrewdness? Is he promoting cheating? Is he promoting? No. He's trying to say that although I don't permit and I don't allow what Jacob did, I rather allow Jacob have it than allow an idiot who at any point throw away the inheritance that is meant for Jesus' arrival at a plate of food. I rather give it to somebody who knows how to do business, even if the person is not born again. Do you know that this thing we always claim as a believer? I have advantage. I have the Holy Ghost as my advantage. Do you know that God would rather commit a useful system to an unbeliever than to commit it to somebody who is unskilled and who is unintelligent in the kingdom dynamics of God? Do you know that? Do you know that you can be dying of hunger because you have an untransformed mind, whereas in your life God has deposited so much, but because you lack divine intelligence on how to steward seasons, you lack divine intelligence on how to steward relationships, you lack divine intelligence on how to steward resources. God would rather say, okay, you can die in your poverty, you can die in that hunger, because you don't know how to manage relationships. Many of us, we can't look at anybody right now and say, this person has been my friend for the last 20 years. But you hear our parents of old saying something like, this man has been my friend for over 35 years, 40 years we meet together. Look at your life now. At this current point, who can you point to that you built life together? You passed through all the stages of friendship. Is it argument? Is it fight? And after all thick and thin, you are still together. You never broke rank. 20 years. That you are first to say sorry, even if you're the one that was offended, doesn't mean you are weak. You are trying to protect posterity. You are protecting something bigger. The one that says sorry first is the matured one. The one that receives the sorry feels that he or she is correct, but is actually weak. But because of ego, we are not able to steward relationships. And when God sees that, and you see, it reflects in how you relate with God. You know, you only come to God when you remember, there is a need for something. How many of us in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 3 years have you posted any of your friends? Not necessarily because it's their birthday or something, but you posted them to say, wow, my guy, my girl, or something, just to say, I celebrate our friendship. I love you so much and I post you. If you love somebody, you want the world to hear about them. These are things, because you can't reap from a relationship you've not invested in. Many of us, we are parasitic in our relationship. We only call that friend. We only reach out to that person when we need help. But on other days, do you know that common going to somebody's status on WhatsApp or Facebook wall or something, typing something, replying to some dumb thing, to you is dumb, to you is numb, to you it doesn't make any sense. But to that person, it means the world. You know that just a simple, well done, oh wow, amazing, is sowing a seed in that person's mind that this person replying is conscious of me. Of all the numerous contacts he or she has, he's able to have time to go through what I've written and to respond to it. And you wonder why you yourself, you don't have help in this life. You wonder why you are alone most of the time. You don't have relationships. You don't have people you invest in. You are the one that should be investing because you are central bank. You're always the one needing help, but nobody. Who can you point to now you have been a destiny helper to? I've told us many times, one of the secrets of fasting and answers to fasting and prayer, whilst you are fasting, look for somebody that can never pay you back and help that person. It's in the book of Isaiah. Is this not the fast that I have ordained for you, that you help the poor, you bless the poor? Muslims, non-Christians, they know these things better than us. But we claim to have the Bible, but we don't live it. And you wonder why your life is still empty. These are things you should look at. All right, this is not even part of this is not even part of the scripture exegesis I wanted to give, but let's look at it. Okay. Let's look at verse 10. Yeah. Verse 10 is it each had a human face in the front. Now, what does this human face symbolize in your life? And what does it symbolize in your purpose? What does humanity really mean? Because I think I've spoken a little bit about that, or a chunk about that in my last, in the last thing I said about relationships, humanity. How many of you are kind enough to be sensitive to other people? There is a season in your life whereby you allow your humanity to play out. You are not robots. You are not a machine. You are not a Terminator. You are not Arnold. You are not any of these things. You are not a transformer. You are a human being. There is a place for allowance that people can be themselves. There is an originality and uniqueness about your life and about your purpose. No two purposes are the same. They might be aligned, but not the same. There is a uniqueness about your humanity. There is a uniqueness about your temperament. There is a uniqueness about how you love, how you feel, how you respond to things. There is a uniqueness about it. There is a unique. The purposes might be aligned, but they can never be the same because both individuals are not the same. I have 4 brothers and a sister, but I can tell you, although we are aligned by blood, but we are very different in reacting to things. Does that make me a villain? Does that make me wicked? Or does that make them bad? No, but that there is a uniqueness that God put in my purpose. Without me, my purpose does not exist. I am my purpose and my purpose is me. But it doesn't mean that the flaws I find in my uniqueness are actually a yardstick to keep misbehaving. But it calls for transformative living. Your humanity is not an excuse to continue in error. That you don't know how to greet people, that you don't know how to talk nice to people, that you don't know how to be, you don't know how to be respectful. It's not a proof of uniqueness in your humanity. That is a flaw. That is disaster waiting to happen. That is a life that will never advance. But regardless of the flaws, if you put the flaws aside, at some point, you discover that how you respond to things is unique. I learned this from Pastor Chintok, and he made it very, very simple. That I'm able to understand something and you can't understand it. It speaks of my uniqueness. Why am I the only one understanding this and this person doesn't understand this? It's because it is not given to them. The disciples asked Jesus, why do you speak in parable to the crowd and you speak to us in plain language? And Jesus Christ said, because it is given to you to understand the mysteries of the kingdom, but to them it is not given. It means that if something is not assigned to you by God, no matter how I teach it, you will never understand it. That is the humanity. Humanity. That is the fact you are content with where God has kept you. You are content in your uniqueness. I may not be this guy, and that is where you must understand the fact when it comes to investments, business, making money, you now realize that your making money and be wealthy is connected to your uniqueness as being a human being. That is working for this person does not mean it must work for you. I'll give an example. Every Ponzi scheme that worked, apart from MMM, I never did MMM, but every other one that worked, in every other one that came, I tried all of them and I lost my money. Every other one that came, I did all of them, I lost money. Does that? Yes, in a sense, it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. That is Ponzi scheme. There are people who are making millions, billions of crypto. I try my best to understand that thing. I have my friends around that understand that thing, even including my friend Gabriel. Today, if you ask me what I know about crypto, I will tell you the only thing I know is P2P, peer-to-peer. If I have 10,000, I buy some coins and keep, and that's all. I don't know. Is it what they call it? Is it profile staking? There's something they call that thing. I've tried to understand that maths, and to me, it's like further mathematics. I've never understood further maths before. I've never liked it. It never made any sense to me. Talk more of crypto. I never understood it. People go and open portfolio, they do this, they're even able to draw graph. I say, me, I've not fully understood general mathematics graph. You want to come and give me crypto? Who wants to run math? Not me and you. Maybe where you're coming from is normal for you people to run math. It's a normal thing. Like madness runs in that gym, but not for me. Where you find it easy to understand things is an indication of the innate wisdom God has put in your humanity. And a part of all of this uniqueness is the capacity to be gracious to others who may not have the same capacity as you. That you're not quick to judge. That you're not quick to give up on people. That you're not quick to condemn and to write people off. It's part of you being human. That they may have flaws, and although it's not a license for them to continue to live in those flaws, like I said earlier, and Paul quoted the same thing in the book of Romans, but yet you still have that space. You still have that capacity to let go of stuff. And in Africa, do you know the reason why leaders are not appreciated? Because people expect a lot from leaders and hold leaders in accountability, but nobody actually holds the followers in accountability. It's easy to write a leader off when in his humanity he's being unique. As a leader, you must dress like this, you must look like this, you must look like. Do you know that we have successfully, by institutionalization, turned people into what they are not, just because we feel society decided it? Who is the society? Who formed the society? Who made those laws? Who made them? Moses made some laws, and Jesus came and changed some of them. Example, he said, it has been said to you aforetime, an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, if they slap you, any law, check very well, any law that Jesus came to change, because God does not contradict himself, and God is not an author of confusion. Any law Jesus corrected is an indication that that law was made by man, which is the person of Moses, because of the hardness of the heart. I give evidence to this. When they asked Jesus, when the Sadducees asked Jesus about the resurrection or afterlife, and they said about the issue of divorce, he said in the beginning it was not so, but because of the stubbornness of your heart, Moses asked you to write a bill of divorcement. It means in the original algorithm and chapter of God for marriage, nothing like divorce exists. So why do we have law courts that grant divorce? Does that mean every couple that divorce, God planned it? No. But it's because two human beings that don't want to accept each other's uniqueness and to understand each other, and for whatever selfish reason, entered marriage. Some marry for sex, some marry for children, some marry for whatever. But if you are not marrying for purpose, you are wasting your time. You will still divorce. Ask those who are married, how many times do they have sex in a day? How many times do you have sex in a week? Because no matter how much you marry someone, the person is beautiful, the person has a behind, the person has something like that. There is this hunger, there's something crying inside of you for satisfaction. There is this fulfillment, and most times move it with what your ego or pleases desires. You may not necessarily. No, leaders are easily criticized. Change them. One time back in school, I think it's in my final year or third level, we were talking about in Nigeria is an official. I know many of you didn't do journalism, but I'll tell you what it is. Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, right? Advertising Practitioners of Nigeria, that's what it means. It's just an acronym. For those of you who did maybe a little bit of advertising like myself, I was taught in school, or let me say I was told, let me not say I was taught, I was told in school alongside some of my other classmates that there are some adverts that the law will permit, although ethics may not permit it. For example, legally, any company can use whatever figure that projects the intent of their product on billboards, on leaflets, on TV screens, or on big big side screen, roadside screens. I get my point right now. But now is lawful, right, within the context of whatever the law states under APCOM, and then also NCC, Nigerian Communications Commission, right? Now, but when it comes, but that thing has to go through ethical reading. What do I mean? For example, we come to the southwest, the south, and the southeast, you can see billboards of almost naked women, half naked women, putting publicizing cream, soaps, and stuff. But you can't try that in the north because of the ethical values. But because of the ethical values, yeah. And then my lecturer came up and said something like, ethics might also be against something, but the law permits it. And I said, I stood up to challenge that school of thought, because everybody kept quiet, like it's business as usual. Like, okay, even though ethics is against it, but the law permits it. And I said, okay, first of all, you told me that law can permit, ethics can go against it. But now you're telling me that ethics can be against something, and then law permit. Okay, fine. On what ground was ethics, or let's say law can permit something, ethics will not permit it? And they are telling me now that ethics can promote something, and then the law will be against it. Then I told him, I say, on what premise was the law formed? Who formed the law? Ethics and law, which one is heavier? Which one carries more weight? Are we losing our mind in pursuit of fame to show you how decayed morally the system is, just to attain something? That men can change their form. If you don't know, men can be very wicked. Very, very wicked. And as much as it is within you, that is why Book of Hebrews says something like, I think Hebrews 12:14. He says, follow peace with all men, yeah, and holiness, without which no eye shall see God. I have a problem with that verse. This is my personal opinion now, not a theology, not anything, not a doctrine. I have a follow peace with all men, and they always preach it. But I loved it when Paul came in Romans and he said, as much as lieth within you, follow peace with all men. It means that no matter how you try to fulfill Hebrews, Romans will catch up with you. Why? There are some people that they are very difficult to love. There are people that no matter how you try to tolerate them, there's no stomach, there's no space. You've exhausted your elasticity of patience with them. Yeah. I can tell you for free and for fact, even as a preacher, there are people I don't talk to. Does that mean I keep malice with them? No. But I chose peace over chaos. The people that come around you, they are chaotic. The people that come around, they come with high voltage of chaos. That people you can't tolerate. You just have... My brother, see, this life is too deep for you to be spending time, and then you are growing lean every day thinking over somebody who doesn't think about you. You are going lean every day because you are under tension, under pressure, coming from somebody who doesn't even have a future. Are you getting my point right now? I questioned the lecturer. I said, excuse me, sir, if my ethical knowledge does not approve that this should be around me, where will the law sanction it? Then everybody in class began to wonder, because we are about 66 or 65 in class. I think 10 were guys, and then the rest, ladies. We are about 10 or 11 guys. The rest were ladies. Mass communication department, of course. Women will dominate the place. And then he stood looking at me, and I said, sir, another question. If it be so, why will the law agree for half-naked women to be used for adverts in the southern part of Nigeria, the Middle Belt region, and then why can it not be applied in the north? Meanwhile, these northern people, are they not part of the same Nigeria? Are they not the ones selling the same soap that have half-naked women on it? Are they not making money from it? So is the law being biased? And then by the time the Southerners go against that billboard being planted there, they bring down the weight of the law on them. Why don't you bring down the weight of the law upon the Northerners? And everybody kept quiet in class. I said, excuse me. There's no room for uniqueness in society anymore. No room for uniqueness. Everybody has been turned to something. Either the law has changed you or the people around you have changed you. And it's very easy to criticize leaders, and say, as a leader or as a man of God, this is expected of you. This is expected of you. My question is this: the same way you are saying it is expected of me, who is holding you that is following me accountable to your own expectations? Some people threaten, I'll leave the organization, I'll leave here, I'll leave. My question is this: do you know it is easier for leaders? Do you know why? Can I say some very deep truths about leadership here? Do you know it is easier for a leader to actually absorb pressure because he understands the tenets, he understands the implications, and he understands the position he occupies. He understands that he's a pathfinder, he's a driving force for a particular narrative. And so he's able to tell himself that although it's not what I want to do, but I just have to do. But as a follower, do you even have any standards? Humanity. The same measure of grace that leaders show you when you err, when you misbehave, and they welcome you back. Can you show them the same measure of grace when they mess up? Some of you, your friends just make one mistake, you cut them off, you block them, you do all of that. Some people, you have seen them, you've written them off. This is kind of humanity. Humanity. I don't know so much about, okay, let me not say I don't know so much about this spirit control temperament by Tim LaHaye. I've read it and understand he's trying to use different psychological and sociological terminologies to explain the dynamism of man. But regardless of whatever that book says, I want to tell you one thing. Regardless of how you think, regardless of how you feel, understand the fact that you are human. You have feelings. So does other people have feelings. That you have feelings doesn't give you the right to talk the way you are talking. Because a time will come, you will also be in your season when you will be down in the valley. And being human means that you're able to agree and accept certain realities. You can't escape them. I'm not talking about laws and traditions right now. Let's not get started over there. I'm talking about culture right now. Because most of those cultures that we have in Africa, especially Nigeria, in most of our villages, are made by hungry men, are made by ignorant men, are made by narcissistic, driven men, people who are selfish, people who have not put their house correctly in order, whose children are wayward and useless, and has not thought to come back and take care of them. So they are waiting for who will bring meat for them to eat, either at wedding or at burial. You never helped somebody whilst the person was alive, but at his funeral, you are bringing millions of naira. When he was alive and his vision needed help, where was that money? You saw the person struggling, but you never helped. But at his funeral, have you noticed in life that people are willing to give anything for your burial, but not for your life? The earlier you admit and you accept this reality, the better for you. So you know that although we are all created by God, but not everybody has the character of God that you have. That you are nice doesn't mean that all men by implication must be nice to you. They are wicked men. They are beasts in human form. If you read the book of Daniel, the Bible talks about how that a beast came out of the waters, having the form of a lion. It was a lion by creation coming out of the waters, but a form of a man. He stood up erect as a man. That is a beast. Not all human beings are human beings. A lot of people that we interact with, even in our family circles, they are beasts in human form. They have the heart of beast. It was not David that said in Psalm 22 verse 12. He said the bulls of Bashan have compassed me. David was trying to describe the kind of enemies he was fighting. He said, if you want to understand the tenacity, the ferocity, the wickedness of the enemy I'm fighting, look at the bulls of Bashan. If you see how big and notorious those bulls are, that is how my enemies are. And there are men like that. who stand as gatekeepers at the threshold of breakthrough, who will never allow you pass, no matter how good your intentions are, no matter how nice you are. This world is not for nice people. Let me tell you the truth. So that weakness in you that you think is you being nice, people must be nice to you. People will not be nice to you. You have to build a fortress on how to protect your sanity and protect your emotions. Left for the world, they'll colonize you into thinking that everybody is a narcissist. They will colonize you into thinking that everybody is a fascist or everybody is autocratic and manipulative as a totalitarian. But it's not so. Not everybody is a human being. Not everybody will feel your pain. There are days you want to be alone. You are human. Own it. There are days you feel like cry. It's you being human. It's not you being weak. Whoever tells you weak is the one that is weak. That person is ignorant. There are days you feel like cry it out. Do you know why men die more than women? It's because women are expressive of their feelings, but men, we have been taught by our parents and by society to hide and to talk in our feelings. We don't cry it out. Are you not a man? Be a man. Be a man. Be a man. Suck it up. Be a man. It's a lie. And that's why you see that women are very radiant in their expressions. Why? They cry out. A woman would rather cry than to sit down looking depressed. She will cry it out. After crying, that is the end. And then she has released all of those emotions. Because what you don't realize that you are, see, whether you are releasing your feelings or not, you are creating an energy field that people will be invited by the frequency you are emitting. You are creating a quantum reality where people will be attracted to your how like it now to the circumference of your experiences. So if you're always depressed, you always attract depressed people. If you're a narcissist, you always attract narcissists. Because why? Those emotions are the things you always create around yourself every time. And that's why I keep telling you, see, if I can tell you one truth, make up your mind as a person. If it means to cry to feel good, cry. But after crying, don't remain crying. Stand up and move. Don't stay down. That's why the Bible says, a just man falls 7 times, but he stands up again. It's enough that you cried. It's enough that you failed. Own it. Take it. Take responsibility of the failure. Every man fails at something. Let me tell you the truth. If you are following a person who has never failed, I can show you a man you should never listen to. If in all of your life successes, there's never been a record of failure, I can show you a man who has nothing to offer you. A man is telling you while he was in primary school, he never failed. Secondary, he never failed. University, he never failed. Even in life opportunities, he never failed. I can show you a man who is a liar, who is Satan's prodigy in lying ministry. Every man fails at something. Even Abraham failed. Even Jesus, who were told to follow as an author and finisher of it. At some point at Gethsemane, he doubted. For a second, he doubted. He said, "Left for me, I will not die. I will not do." Sure. Now me keep person. I not do. There are times you just own up to some fact that this thing happens in life. But don't remain at that point where you are in that valley. You just stand up and move on like nothing happened. It's a season. And it go past. Oh, parafu so fair. It's allowed that people mock you, but it's not for long. Allow it. Who doesn't understand is the one missing out. People can laugh now. People can laugh at what I'm building, but give it time. If you want to respond to every mockery, every talk around you, you'll never achieve anything. Just keep, if you want to live by the verdict of what people say around you, as human validation to ascertain that, okay, I'm in the good books. See, you can never be in the good books of people. Never. If you shake your head, they will talk. If you don't shake, they will talk. If you go home, they talk. If you don't go home, they will talk. There's nothing you will do that people will not talk. You own it. It's your uniqueness. Move on. Move on. Own it and move on. You owe nobody no explanation. You don't owe anybody. Even those who are looking for explanation, they are directionless. If they were busy with their life, they wouldn't even have the time to pay attention to what is not working in your life. Visionless people, lazy born people, they are the ones paying attention to what is not looking for them. Human, own it. And for me, failure is not what we think it is. Failure is not the end of a matter. Failure for me is me learning how not to repeat something again. Failure for me is a class. It's a class I must pass. I don't know how many of us know Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, the Chinese business tycoon or mogul. He failed at almost everything in his life. He failed at primary school, he failed secondary school. How many colleges? Almost like 13, how many rejected him? But today, now everybody has money. But I'm sure when he was down in that valley, when he was there, that, he was failing, his parents shouted, people were angry, his uncles, his peers, people who had gone ahead of him, I'm sure people were laughing. But they never saw this side of him coming. They never saw that in his failure was a business empire. That you are failing at something does not necessarily mean that you are failing at the purpose of God. No, sir. It might be a class that you must pass. Oh, yes. It must. Failure is part of the equation for God's greatness to emerge in your life. If you don't fail at something, how do you know the wisdom of God? You see one thing God will show you? God will show you the glimpse of where he's going to land you, but he will never show you the pits of failure you must enter. If I'm listening to you when you are talking with me, I don't listen to your success. I'm looking for the areas you failed. And if in all you are saying, you've not highlighted areas you failed, I can tell you all what you've been saying before. I didn't listen to anything. Because your failures are your greatest teachers. Where you failed, teach you the best. Where others failed, instruct you the best. There are two ways to learn. You can either learn from people's experiences or your personal experience. I will go for the first. I will go for the first. Why? Because I have time to learn from them, not to repeat the mistakes they made, because I may not have the sufficiency of time to make those mistakes, learn or realize that I'm making a mistake, correct those mistakes, and then benefit from the remedies that I've discovered about the mistakes I made. Many of you have already gone far in life, and many of you are still saying, allow me now. I've heard people who told me such nonsense. Even if I don't want to listen to you, allow me now. But let me make my mistake. At the age of 40, at the age of 35, you still want to make your mistakes. There's nobody mentoring you. There's nobody coaching you. There's nobody showing you the ropes. You're former most miserable, like Paul said. My question is this. I'm not doubting the fact that you want to make your own mistakes and then learn from them. But the fact is, will you have enough time to even realize you are making a mistake? That is for realization alone. Will you have enough time to realize you are making a mistake? And will you have enough time to find the institutional framework to correct the errors you've made? That is for correction. And then to learn what should replace the mess you've made before. And then what time will you have to enjoy the benefits of the measures you've taken to live a better life? Our parents are our role models. We learned family. We learned how to cohabit with people, how to tolerate from our parents. I learned that from my father. I learned a lot. That's why today my brother is a Gabriel. We've been friends from primary school. We're primary school till now we are still. That's everything has to do with Iron Mint, anything designs, logos, whatever. He's the one handling all of that. And I don't leverage on the relationship to say, okay, guy, do it for me and go. I pay him. I pay him. Yes, I pay him. He's my friend, but this is business. If I don't pay, who's going to pay him? And to show you how wicked the world is, people around you will see you. When you are struggling to rise, they will patronize you. They'll look for who has blown to go and give money. Then when you now, I don't understand that metrics in Africa. Then when you now finally blow, you have hundreds of millions, they're not bringing 100,000 to you. To do what? When you needed the 100,000, they never brought it. When you needed the 50,000, they never brought it. Now you have billions of dollars, they are bringing 100,000, which is like rag for your slippers or for your flip-flops. To do what with it? To say we are felicitating with you that you have become great. Nonsense. Total rubbish. Me, I've said it before. I've said it openly on altars, anywhere possible. I've said it before. If you never invested at least even 50,000 in my life whilst I was alive, if you bring 500,000 or anything, I rather be go to my burial. As they are burying me, they are burying you next. It's wickedness. Not later, there, as they are burying me, they are burying you next. That is the heart of human weak. That is witchcraft. People would rather clap for you when you are dead. I don't know how many of you know this Canadian rapper called Dax. Dax says something in one of his songs. He said men are only valued and are only giving flowers on only 2 occasions, when they die and when they are 6 feet below. And it's the truth. Men, I'm not talking about women, men. Society has only crowned at the fact that men are only burden carriers. They have to listen to everything the woman has to say, listen to everything everybody has to say, but they don't have a voice to say anything anywhere. And the only time they are appreciated is when they die. Check. Why do men die before women? Pressure. Pressure. Yesterday was Men's Mental Health Awareness Day. How many women checked on men to say, how are you doing? When was the last time you called that brother of yours to say, bro, how are you now? I've been seeing what you've been doing. Boy, you are trying. Forget that the person is making mistakes. Appreciate the ones he's doing correct. For once, let the person even hear commendation from you to say, bro, do you know you are trying? Do you know that what you've done and what you are building? Bro, I've seen you labor for years. And this, that. Bro, you as a lady, when was the last time you called your male friend, that casual friend of yours, or maybe your boyfriend or your husband, to say, honey, sweetheart, I see all you are doing. It's not easy. We are not dead, but I know that you've come too far to quit now. Do you know that those few lines, do you know that men consider, do you know from studies, men are more emotional than women? Men are more emotional by research. Check it anywhere. But just that they are not vocal about their feelings. And that is why it is very important that, you see, women, forgive me, I'm going to say this, it's not based on bias. It's based on research and it's based on my own personal observation. Do you know that women are more narcissistic than men? They are more self-centered, self-seeking than men. A woman has offended you. She will find a way to turn that table around to become the person who has to say sorry to you. A woman, that is the trust it anywhere, anyhow. I'm giving you my own point of view. I'm not saying it's based on Bible, based on my own personal observation and based on research. Women are more narcissistic or have more narcissistic tendencies than men. When was the last time you messaged somebody to say, sister, I noticed you have been trying this, well done. I may not have the money now, but just know I am your number one fan. Do you know that means a lot to that person at that time? That person might be drowning. And that's why when it comes to dealing with men, do you know, oh, Jesus. Do you know that if there are 10 suicides right now, 8 of them are men? Do you know how many men die every day in the world from pressure? Families calling. Now, do you know men literally handle everything? I'm not saying they're not powerful women. There are women who have built things for themselves after being abused by society or by men. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about men now because of a reason. Now, he has to pay the rent. He has to pay for food. He has to pay for children's school fees. He has to make sure that the wife is fine. He has to the parents are there, the wife's parents are there. All of that. Have you ever wondered how does he create the money? How does he create all of the time to do all of that? Recently, I sat down and I took stock of how I've become so exhausted. Like literally, since the day before yesterday or 3 days now, I noticed my system began to shut down. I was like, what's going on? Why am I sleeping quick nowadays? Why am I looking? My system began to shut down. And I was not just bodily now. I noticed emotionally I was beginning to shut down. I said something is off. This is not me. Psychologically, I was beginning to shut down. Anybody who knows me for the last 2 days, I've become like Raz. I'm just reacting. I'm just responding with so much intensity. It's not because somebody offended me, but like I've come to a point of mental and emotional exhaustion that I've been there for so many people. I can ask them, how are you doing? I can check on them, make sure they are fine. But I sat down today and I start for a very long time. And I said, when was the last time somebody said, guy, forget that you're an apostle. Let's just Do you. Let's just focus on you being Michael. Let's just do you. Forget about Apostle. Forget about this one. The man of God that died, the psalmist, Samuel Oposo, that died 2 years ago, 3 years ago, thereabout now. Do you know it was mental pressure that killed him? Because of guilt, he came up. The Bible says, confess your faults one to another. He came to the church. I'm not talking about denomination now. He came out to the church, the body of Christ, confessed so that the guilt can leave him. Because he was dying with depression and isolation. He came out and confessed. Now, instead of absorbing this brother and helping him out with weakness, the people began to drag him online. How can you, a man of God, do this? In fact, people began to leave his social media handles, and that is the first thing people do when a man of God messes up. They block the person. They say, oh, you are fake. Oh, I never thought you. I never knew you were this. You forget that that person, forget that he's a man of God. He's a human being. Like you. If the roles were changed, hope you know you will do worse. Hope you know you will do worse. Humanity. You have no conscience. You have no feelings. Always a leader checking on you. When was the last time you checked on your leader's health? Men are more sensitive to women's needs, but women are very, very little when it comes to being sensitive to men's needs. Can you? Because men, because they prefer respect and all this emotional shenanigans and drama, it's very difficult to read when they are happy and read when they are sad. So you really, really have to be daily close. And I can give you a biblical example. Jesus, Peter, James, and John. Even Peter, as close as he was to Jesus, and he was the spokesman and he was the arrowhead for the furtherance of the ministry of Jesus, even after Jesus was to depart, he asked Jesus, who is to betray you? Jesus never answered. Jesus kept it quiet. Peter had to ask John the Beloved, the writer of the book of Revelation, you that is exclusive, ask him for us. Who is to betray? And Jesus could not keep it. Forget that every man is wrong. If your man is not opening up to you, there's somebody he's opening up to. There is somebody your man is not comfortable with. If I'm talking about women and men relationship right now, if you claim this person is your friend, whether guy, girl, they may be forming hard, but there's somebody else they're opening up to. And it could be for several factors. They don't feel safe around telling you things because you turn it into a eulogy, you turn it into a sermon, you turn it into something like, I warned you, I told you. That's not what they need. Even if they need that, at that moment, that's not emotional intelligence, emotional quotient, zero. There are people that don't have emotional intelligence. They don't know how to react to things. They don't know the right time to say things. They don't know the right time to respond to things. How to react, nothing. Their humanity, zero. Why am I saying all of this? There is a season in your life where you have to study yourself, study people, and just realize certain things are just the way they are. It is what it is. There's no sugarcoating. There's no making excuses for them by labeling the devil that, oh, the devil is behind this one or that one. Some things are just human beings being human beings, and you must accept that. If you cannot accept that now, then you have almost destined for failure. That is ruthless failure that you never experienced before. Amen. There's so much I can say along this line, but our time is up. Right? Our time is really, really up. I have another meeting by 8. All right. So the next, he said, the face of a lion on the right side. Now it means that, now have you noticed that the right side, Bible is very, very specific about where the face of a lion is. On the right side. Many of us are right-handed like myself. Right hand, strong, and all of that. It means that there are seasons of your life where, in as much as your humanity permits failure, permits depression, permits a lot of all of these jargons and junk, there's a season where you feel bold, where you feel emboldened, encouraged. You feel the strength of God running through your system. Not because the man of God will lay hands on you, but because the strength of God is innate in your creation. You are the embodiment of, or let me say, you are the physical embodiment of all that God is, inclusive his strength. When the angel changed the name of Jacob, he said, you're no longer called Jacob, but you are going to be called Israel. Why? He said, you are, because as a prince, you have strength with God, and you have strength with man, and you have prevailed. God can never send you, or God can never give you an assignment he has not empowered you. There's an empowerment within your system. You only need to know what needs to be used to unlock it. That is all you need. God then begins to connect you to the right people who speak the right words to you. Connect you to the right mentors, to the right spiritual atmosphere, right financial atmosphere, people who will be able to counsel you and bring out the best of God's energy in your life. Life is all about frequencies, right? Frequencies, ecosystems, quantum realities. Are you getting my point? Because whatever you see physically has a quantum reality that is backing its operations. Like I said, quantum mechanics simply means studying matter at atomic and subatomic levels. You're talking about, okay, let's say this phone is working. What are the binaries that makes it function the way it's functioning? That you're able to hear my voice right now, there are codes, there are sequences that have been put in place to ensure that you're hearing me at this tone. And if at all I choose to reduce my voice, you'll still be able to hear me exactly the way I'm speaking from here. In the same manner, you have the very life of God in you. Not just your humanity, you have the strength of God in you. God breathed into the nostrils of man, and man became a living soul. There is the energy of God running through your body. You have the intelligence of Elohim. You have the intelligence of God. You have the strength. You have the mental, emotional, spiritual capacity to go at anything life throws at you. If only you can connect with God and connect with the right people who help you channel that energy. All right, real quick now. All right, and then we have, he said, the face of an ox on the left side. Talking up now, what is an ox? An ox is like a bull. Take it like a bull or a cow, right? A bull. And usually, the oxen is used for plowing fields. If you are good with Chinese movies, you've seen it many times. So it means, what does that represent? A time in your life will come whereby it is not time for you to shine. It is time for you to serve. There is a season in your life that all that God requires from you is to serve and not to be on the front line. But many people have misplaced these seasons because they have energy, because they have strength. You see, humility and service bar is not the absence of power, but it is power under control. Power under control. God puts you under authority. And this is why many people miss it. It's a season. A season comes, God says, don't be public. Don't be loud. Just serve, observe, learn. It's a place to be taught. It's not for you to impose your own thinking pattern at that time. It's for you, even if you have the best of ideas. God says, if you are smart, keep it to yourself. Listen to the one leading you. But many people, oh Jesus. Look at the life of Elisha. When Elijah dropped a mantle on him whilst he was flying the field, guess what happened next? He never said, now I want to go and start El Shaddai shall not die ministry international. He said, permit me, sir. Let me go and greet my father, my mother goodbye. Then I'll come and follow you. Followership. It means that the first grace that comes on you when you encounter God is not for publicity. It's not for, yes, God has promised you you're going to go global, you're going to go around the world, but in the equation of that greatness coming to pass is a season of being an ox. You are stupid, yes, sir. You are mad, yes, sir. Where all you are saying is yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Even if it's not convenient, yes, sir. You don't fight it. You don't fight it. Yes, sir. Because you understand the way up is down. The way up is down. Jesus Christ said, if you have not been faithful in that which is another man's business, who shall give you the business of your own? Who will give you the business? The first faith and speech, the Igbos in Nigeria got it right. And that's why today they still flourish. You know why? Before you become great, you must have a master. If you want to trade in any business, it's only in Christianity that I've seen that today a mentee comes. Under 2 months, he or she feels he or she has learned enough, can make decisions on their own now, and then they're off the boat. They want to start running things. But those that you are insulting, that they are worldly people, they understand the place of service. Some Igbo men, although it depends on the kind of business you want to trade in, they can start for 10 years, some 9 years, some 13 years. Without being seen, they are doing boy, even if their age is counting. It is only in Christianity where you know that your destiny is more spiritual than what it is. that you are, whilst you are serving, you are checking age. My age is against me. My age is against me. My age is against me. Back in Liberia, I met two Igbo guys in a keke going somewhere. In the night, I was going back to my place, and then I never knew they were Igbos, but I could tell from their face that they looked Nigerians. I was in company of my pastor friend who is Liberian, and all of that. And then the way they were speaking the Liberian tongue, I could tell that they've stayed there for years, probably around 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, longer than I have ever been. And then I just discovered they were Nigerians. And then I greeted them. They're like, hey, my brother. And the one sitting next to me, by my left, was having his send-off because he has finished serving his boss for over 10 years. How old was he? I think he was already going to 30, 34 or 35. That is him learning business. I don't know how long he has. So calculate 10 years backwards or 11, 12 years backwards when he started serving. Not sure of whether the boss is going to settle him or not. Why is it so easy for worldly people to understand the place of service without payment? These people, they serve without payment. They are not paid salary. They only assured of feeding and where to sleep. And their boss tell them when to resume work and when to close. They tell them when to sleep and when not to sleep. But in Christian faith, we are the ones that so I'm just doing you a favor. Even if you didn't say it with your mouth, your character is telling the one who is leading you that you are doing him a favor. And you wonder why the Igbos are wealthy. And then the so-called only God knows how hypocritical Christians who claim they no service not anybody are still broke. In case you don't, let me bring it to your notice. Prayer warriors are the most broke people in church. They pray the most, but they don't understand the place of service. People who know how to pray check their life. Minus me, of course. How many are serving correctly? You are serving, but your mind is somewhere else. You are serving, but you're looking for money somewhere else. I know someone who served his boss, and at the end of serving for 6 years or 7 years, the boss only gave him 700 and something thousand naira. 7 years of service. No salary, no payment, nothing. Only food. Most times they eat once a day. They will still wash your gas car. They will still do everything. Iron the clothes. Take the children to school. Report. Make sure the cash book is balanced. And at the end of everything, maybe highest is 3 million, 2 million. Something, they'll give them some money to go and start their lives. And then maybe 1 or 2 contacts to help them establishing goods and all of that. Give them 1 or 2 connections, but not the entire grid. Then you are serving an eternal purpose under a man. Then you are behaving as if you are doing God and that man whom you are serving under a favor. You are foolish. You've not fully understood service. There is a place, there is a season in your life that all that God requires, regardless of your knowledge, serve. I told us, even at the level at which I am, I'm running a ministry. I'm running an international ministry. A man of God literally asked me yesterday, he said, are you still in Benin Republic? I said, no. Because I told him I was in Benin Republic a couple of weeks ago. And he said, do you live on the road? That was the question I was asked yesterday. I laughed. I said, no, sir. He said, do you live on the road? I said, no, sir. I said, I traveled again. But regardless of how busy I was, my wife, he said, you can ask. 2024, I left my home, went to Lagos to start my spiritual father. 2 months I was there. Like this evening service now, most times it was my wife teaching in my place. Or most times I will record the message I was maybe it's a specific series we are on, and it demands that I'm the only one that has to teach that, like how we are teaching this right now. I will record it, and then she will come online. She will just pray for probably 10, 15 minutes, and then she will upload the message on my behalf. You know, and then say, Papa asked us to listen to this message, let it bless you, blah, blah, blah. It was like that for a very long time, 2 months going. Sometimes, and then one period I was not around for only God knows how long. I was serving without question. I'm not just serving, I was being a resourceful servant. I could guess, I could be in the head of the one I was following. I said, he might ask me for this one. He might ask me. So before he will ask, I will go and make the inquiry. I will keep. Even if I know he doesn't need that, but one day he's going to ask me, I'll keep it. He will tell me, Michael, do you know this place in Lagos? Even if I don't know, I say, yes, I know, sir. It's okay, we are going there tomorrow. Why do I say yes, even if I don't know? First of all, he doesn't know Lagos. But at the same time, I don't want to present myself as not being resourceful. And thirdly, that it should be an advantage. Not like, okay, you are here, but I still have to look for somebody else. I try to make this a very, 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 very valuable to him. I begin to use Google Maps. Or I begin to call one or two of my friends who know Lagos better. I say, oh, guy, Alpha, do you know this place? Do you know? But some people, not resourceful, they can't think fast, nothing. I know, yes, you are serving, but it's not about serving. What is the quality of your service? The quality of the service, what is it? All right. Then the last of all is the face of an eagle. On the left, or at the back now. Talks about the face of an eagle at the back, talking about vision. A season will come in your life where all you are doing is connected to God showing you things. There's a season that comes whereby, although prior to that time, you are confused, don't know what to do, but a season comes where clarity enters. Where it's as if all has become clear all of a sudden, like, wow, I'm not actually confused. It's as if back to back, you are receiving revelations. Not about angels alone now, but you are gaining clarity and focus on what God wants you to do. Because when you see an eagle, or when an eagle is mentioned in scriptures, first to sight, and also altitude, ascension, heights. There's a season that comes because altitude in life is connected to vision. The book of Proverbs says, where there is no vision, the people perish. So staying alive, longevity, long life is tied to vision. Greatness is tied to vision. God will never lift you beyond where your mental capacity can lift you to. God begins to program mind. All right. And so for God to make you great, please hear me. Can you hear me clearly, please? For God to make you great, the first thing God does is to increase your mental capacity. Please, can you hear me? You can write on the platform if you can hear me. For God to make you great, he has to increase your mental capacity, your vision. What do you see? Please, can you hear me? I want to know. Thank you, Holy Spirit.